What does it mean to eliminate a team from competition? If we were to, let's say we have a tournament of some kind, what does it mean to take and eliminate a team? What does the word eliminate mean?
Like, take them out of the competition.
They're out of the competition. They're no longer a part of it. Okay? As he said, we take them out of the competition. They are no longer a part of it. Okay? Now, let's think about what could eliminate an X. What is it that we could have that could eliminate an X? Meaning, it's no longer a part of the equation. What could eliminate an X? Jake? A negative value of X. What could eliminate a 5X? What could eliminate a 5X?
Subtract 5x?
Yeah.
Subtract 5x.
Subtracting 5x or adding a negative 5x. Yes. Subtracting a 5x, adding a negative 5x, adding the opposite. This method, the elimination method, uses opposites to eliminate one of the variables. Okay, we want to eliminate one of the variables using exactly what you guys just said. Using those opposites. The opposite of x is negative x. The opposite of 5x is negative 5x. So adding those opposites to each other eliminates the variable. It negates it. It's gone. Okay? So if we take a look here in number 1, we have 3x plus 2y equals 7. And then we have 5x plus negative 2y equals 9. What do we have as opposites within these two equations? In the two equations. Isaiah?
The positive 2y and the negative 2y.
The positive 2y and negative 2y. Now, if we were to take these two equations and combine them together, okay, combine them together, then what ends up happening is these two cancel each other. Okay, we're adding this equation to this equation, canceling out the opposites. We have an opposite here, so this becomes something that's a little bit easier to work with even than the substitution method. Okay? You're going to find that with each one of your methods, you're going to have pros and cons to using it. And sometimes it's going to be more convenient to use the elimination method. Sometimes it's going to be more convenient to use the substitution method. Okay? Now, these two cancel each other out. We combine this together. We have 3x plus 5x equals 8 values of x. 8 values of x equals 16. Okay? I divide both sides by 8.
Get 2.
And that x equals 2. X equals 2. What do I have to do with that 2?
Here.
Timmy.
Substitute it into one of the equations.
Substitute it into one of the equations. Now, we're not in the same situation as we were yesterday where we had a y that was isolated. But that's okay. It's only going to be a couple of steps before we get to a point where we can solve it. So 3 times 2 plus 2 values of y equals 7. Okay, so we have 6 plus 2 values of y equals 7. I add the opposite of 6 to both sides, and that leaves me with 2 values of y equal to 1. So y here, when I divide both sides by 2,
So y is 1.
when I divide both sides by 2, what does y end up equaling here?
Half.
1/2, which means that my ordered pair that is an answer to this system is what?
2 comma 1/2.
Very good. 2 comma 1/2.
When you have x, can you put it into either one?
What? Yes. Yes, you can.
Okay.
All right. Did everybody hear that question?
No.
When you have the value for x, can you substitute it into either equation? And yes, you can to solve for y. I usually choose the one with smaller numbers. Okay? Yeah.
If the values of x are like the opposites of each other and the y's are completely different, can you do the same thing for x?
Absolutely. So we have 2 new problems here. All right. In our first one, we're again in the same fortunate situation where we have two values that are going to be opposites of each other. We have a 5y and we have a negative 5y. The first thing you want to do is look at these two and see if you have an opposite. If you have an opposite, it sets you up. Okay? So we have the 5y and the negative 5y. Together, the two of them do what to each other? They cancel each other out. They cancel each other out, and you combine these two together, and we're left with 7 values of x is equal to 14. Okay? Easy way to solve for x, right? A little bit easier than yesterday, especially when we have two that are opposites right off the bat. Okay? We divide both sides by 7. When we do that, we're left with the value of x equaling 2. Okay? We substitute it back in. Once again, we can substitute it back in for either equation. Okay? We have 4 values of 2 plus 5 values of y is equal to 6. Okay? That gives us 8 plus 5 values of y is equal to 6. Okay? I add the opposite to both sides. And that leaves me with 5 values of y equal to negative 2. I divide both sides by 5. And y equals negative 2 over 5. So what is my ordered pair that goes along with number 2? JP?
2 comma negative 2 over 5.
Very good. 2 comma negative 2 over 5.